Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1472, 1472, and I'm Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valleymont in California. The last show was called Californian, and I am one, and we are broadcasting from Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valleymont, the last place on earth. Okay, I think we've summed that all up. Mike's Daily Podcast. Today, Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer. I don't know if we're going to get to any more accusations about Mike's Daily Podcast. George H.W. Bush grabbing young women while he's sitting in his wheelchair. Someone that I talked to scared me when I talked to him about this topic. He said some things that, well, make me sick. This guy. It's not the Mike's Daily Podcast most PC things this guy said to me. He's older. He's probably what I'll be in 20 years, so Mike's I definitely podcast will not be like this guy, but yeah, he's 20 years older than me, and he's got these views about Hillary Clinton. Oh my gosh, how much he hates Hillary Clinton. I think the amount that he hates Hillary does not equal the amount that I hate Trump. It does not equal or equate. And where is Trump in this page I have open right here? Is this Trump?
You will never, ever, ever have a career in singing.
He's kind of like Trump, that guy. Okay, so that page is a fail. Has no Trump. How about this one?
I'm dead sexy.
That doesn't... Oh.
He's a showboat. He's a grandstander.
That is perfect that Trump said that, because there's a guy I know who is a showboat. Look who walked in. All right, somehow we were on one of these group texts. Don't you hate group texts? Oh my gosh, there's some new... I think the new iPhone or new Samsung, some new smartphone is going to have it so you can get out of group texts. But they are the most annoying thing. So I was in a group text with this guy and this woman that I work with, this friend of mine, and this guy. So the reason why we were group texting was because we were coordinating for an event.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Well, the event is over with. And the podcast picture is not of that event. It is actually of, as we continue our Halloween pictures, our Halloween displays in front of houses. Because what's coming up?
This is Halloween,
I know what's good and bad. This is a fine-tuned machine
called Halloween. And the podcast picture is of someone having a dragon on top of their house. And I thought it was interesting looking. It was in Podcastro Valley. So check out that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com, where you can also help out the show through the Amazon link. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go through that link at mikesdailypodcast.com. And there's also the PayPal if you'd like to help us out that way too. And there's past interviews all at mikesdailypodcast.com. Check it out. And it looks even better now on your smartphone. Okay, so back to, what was it? Oh, yes, this event and the smartphone and the stupid group text. So the event is over with, and there's this guy who's a showboat, and he texts us both, hey, this is a picture of me in my costume at my work. My work had a costume contest yesterday. First off, what job has a costume contest a week before Halloween, in the middle of the week? Do you have nothing better to do? So he shows this video of him and his son, and they're both dressed up in costumes, and I guess his son gets to go. He's like 5, and he's cute, and he's little, and he's in a costume, and his father, the guy I work with, he's in his costume, and da-da. Okay, so he sends that video. Well, then the woman that I work with replies, oh my gosh, that's so cute. Who's that? Who are you with? Asking all these questions, and he's texting, I won this contest. I won that. Oh, that's great. You look cute. Was your wife there? No, she was working. I won an award. And this is the text, back and forth, texting. And my phone is just blowing up with all these texts. And I'm not even involved, and I want out. So I go into my Samsung, and I'm looking for the button that tells that blocks all this. And I can't find it. All I can find is I can delete the entire conversation. So that's what I do, and it stopped. But I think if they were to reply back to each other, if the showboat was to reply back to the woman, it was going to continue all night. I will tell you that there was no at any time the showboat asking the woman, hey, are you dressed up in any costumes for Halloween? Are you going to take your kid out for Halloween? No, he could care less. And that's how that works. It's called a one-sided mirror, folks. And some people, that's all they see. They look in the mirror, they don't see anyone else. All they see is them. And I don't know.
I know what's good and bad.
Who that could be referring to. Is it you?
Wrong.
Okay. So that is what I wanted to share with you. That and this crazy guy just has this this is a totally different person. This is a different human being. And he just does not like.
But I just want to set the record straight.
Hillary Clinton at all. And he has to.
I'm now back to being an activist citizen and part of the resistance.
He tells me this whole thing. Oh yeah, it's all coming out about Harvey Weinstein, and he is best friends with Hillary, and there was a big collusion going on with him and her and Obama, and it was them that created this whole thing about the Russians. And so that's what it's all a lie.
I appreciate that. That's not even funny.
And so and I go, oh, okay. Did you get this same? And I actually said this. Did you get this from the same source that said that Hillary was in charge of a sex ring out of a pizza shop? He goes, oh no, that was off of Anthony Weiner's emails. Ugh. When he tells me these things, I just smile and nod. Because I know later on that information, it gets trapped in this net in the back of my head, and later I have to dissect it all and go, what? No.
Say what?
No.
No.
So that is what I call people that I work with, and interesting people. I work in an interesting business with interesting people. So that is the podcast pictures of the dragon on top of a roof. Hey, let's look at this interesting bit of news. I did see something briefly. Oh, by the way, if you go to Bing today, they got this crazy thing where you can click on. There's these. It's like you're looking at someone's scary house with their scary old pictures. And all of a sudden, one of the paintings, one of the pictures, the people in them turn into zombies. And so that's what that sound effect was. What happens when you click on this guy? Oh, each picture when you click on, they do something weird. Oh, that guy just blew out the candle. And he turns into a werewolf. And he scares all the other pictures away. That's lovely. This is hours of entertainment, and there's like 6 pictures. I'm gonna click on the one with the 3 women, and this looks like an old sepia tone shot. Oh, they turn into witches! Oh, that's wonderful. And oh wow, and they just turned the other pictures into frogs and spiders. And the frog ate the... Okay. So, yeah, you can find that on Bing today. You're welcome. But one of the stories I saw had to do with... Oh, the music continues. A seal blocks a runway on an airport? Oh. There's a third accuser about George Bush. Oh, yeah, and that was my whole point, was this guy who was going on and on about Hillary and pizza shops. he was saying that this is all lies about H.W. Bush. But now Christina Baker Klein, she described the incident in a Slate op-ed, saying it took place at the Barbara Bush Foundation for Family Literacy fundraiser. You want to know my favorite book? She recalled Bush telling her as he leaned closer to him for the photo, which she and her husband standing on either side of Bush's wheelchair. President Bush put his arm around me, low on my back. His comic timing was impeccable. Oh, and he did the David Copperfield thing. And gosh dang, so that's the third person. Is this person telling the truth? Should we give her the benefit of the doubt? I don't know, but she was born in 1964, so Christina Baker Klein is older than me. So it's not just the young 30-somethings that George W. Bush is doing this to, apparently. Well, I can't confirm or deny it, but this story was in the Hill, and you can make of it what you will. But the big news, we kind of got into a little bit yesterday, but they hadn't come out yet. That would be the JFK files about the John F. Kennedy assassination. Trump ordered the release of more than 28,000 records, 2,800 rather. This was yesterday, but bowed to pressure from the CIA, FBI, and other agencies to delay disclosing some of the most sensitive documents for another 6 months. The thousands of pages that were published online by the National Archives Thursday evening describe decades of spies and surveillance, informants, and assassination plots, like $100,000 to kill Fidel Castro. Let's see, they had a meeting. FBI describes a meeting in which Cuban exiles tried to set a price on the head of Fidel Castro, also Raul Castro, and Che Guevara. It was felt that the $150,000 to assassinate Fidel Castro plus $5,000 expense money was too high, the memo noted. They went with the more modest sum of $100,000. So there's sex parties also mentioned. A 1960 FBI memo describes a high-priced Hollywood call girl who was approached by Fred Ottish, a well-known Los Angeles private investigator, seeking information about sex parties involving John F. Kennedy, who was a senator then, his brother-in-law actor Peter Lawford, Frank Sinatra, and Sammy Davis Jr. She told the agents that she was unaware of any indiscretions, the memo said. And there was a stripper named Kitty. The Bureau FBI had an attempt to locate a stripper named Kitty, last name unknown. Another stripper named Candy Cane said Kitty had been an associate of Jack Ruby, the Dallas nightclub owner who killed Lee Harvey Oswald, the assassinator of John F. Kennedy. This happened on November 24th, 1963. Leon Cornman, business agent with the American Guild of Variety Artists in New Orleans, told the FBI that, quote, the only stripper he knew by the name of Kitty who worked in New Orleans was Kitty Ravel. He advised that Ravel committed suicide in New Orleans in August or September of 1963. Assassinating JFK was not worth it for Cuba. A draft report by the House Select Committee on Assassinations found it unlikely that Cuba would kill Kennedy as retaliation for CIA's attempt on Castro's life. Lyndon B. Johnson in the KKK. In the internal FBI report from May of 1964, an informant told the FBI that the Ku Klux Klan said it, quote, had documented proof that President Johnson was formerly a member of the Klan in Texas during the early days of his political career. The documented proof was not provided. Fulgencio Batista said that the deposed Cuban dictator, there was discussion of an alleged plot to bribe a U.S. congressman and bring the deposed Cuban dictator to the U.S. A Communist Party investigation into JFK killing And CIA plots to kill, let's see, Castro, Jack Ruby, and Officer Tippett, all kinds of Hollywood blacklist, Communist Party small enough to fit in a car. There was a beef between the FBI and CIA, and predictions the Cuban Revolution would quickly collapse. The records also reveal a deposition given before the Presidential Commission on CIA Activities in 1975 by Richard Helms, who had served as the agency's director. After a discussion of Vietnam, David Bellin, an attorney for the commission, turned to whether the CIA was involved in Kennedy's killing. Well, now the final area of my investigation relates to charges that the CIA was in some way conspiratorially involved with the assassination of President Kennedy during the time of the Warren Commission. You were Deputy Director of Plans, is that correct? Bellin asked. After Helms replied that he was, Bellin then asked, is there any information involved with the assassination of President Kennedy which in any way shows that Lee Harvey Oswald was in some way a CIA agent or agent? Then suddenly the document cuts off. Could this be something that got not released that we were hearing about earlier? There was some stuff that was not going to be released. Okay, well, finally, Super Mario, the other big news. They have this Super Mario Odyssey. Nintendo is getting universal praise for the Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild with Super Mario Odyssey, both of which now stand among the best reviewed games of all time. Reviews for Odyssey went live today, and the game is ticking off an absurd number of perfect scores from outlets across the blogosphere. Could this be a game that Mike actually plays? One of the few games? Who knows? As we go outside of Café Anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. And that is it. That's all the conspiracies I have for you today. Go and get in a group text with someone and annoy everybody in the group text. They should be outlawed, group texts. Ugh. Next show, it is going to be... Hey, we didn't even talk to the characters today. We didn't even do that. We should say hi really quick.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the gift shop supervisor. I'm leaving because I'm outside.
And I'm Floyd the Floorman! And this is John Deere, the engineer. Yeah, we're going too. Alright, me too. I'll see you guys on Sunday, possibly, for the Sunday super secret Sunday show. Enjoy your weekend.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!